Some say that you should master your music at -6 dB integrated LUFS. And others are saying that you should master your music at -14 decibels LUFS. Today we're going to look into this. We're going to go to the global charts and we're going to see what are the pros doing. Today I'm going to talk about a very controversial subject, and that is LUFS loudness when it comes to mastering. Let me give you a little bit of history about how we got to this point. You know, back in the day, people used to record their music, then they would mix it, and then they'd put it onto a master, like a 1/4-inch tape, and then they would send that off to radio stations or to be pressed for albums, for vinyls, and then later on cassettes and CDs. But what started to happen is people started to notice that if they took that final mix, the 2-channel 1/4-inch master, if you ran it through a compressor with a little bit of EQ and you put a limiter on it, then your song would land up sounding louder on radio than your competition song. And then we got what we call today the loudness wars. 1979, the average was -20, but if we go to 2009, the average was -8. From -20 dBs to -8 is a 12 decibel change. That's one hell of a big difference in level. If you play something from 1975 at the same volume as something from 2009, you will see that the difference is going to be massive. This started a loudness war. Through the decades, from the 1970s until 2010, that's a period of 40 years, sound engineers just got better and better and better and better at making songs louder and louder and louder and louder. When I used to produce a lot of jingles, I remember the one day I did this piece of music for a BMW commercial, and they told me it was going to be on during the news, and I watched the news, I was eating my dinner, and then an ad came on, and the music sounded loud and big and powerful, and then my ad came on, my music, and it sounded soft and limp. And then the next ad came and it was loud again. The reason was my mastering wasn't up to scratch. That was when I was still learning, like 25 years ago when I started. The same thing is happening on radio. So if you write a pop song, you want to get into the charts, if you didn't have your song mixed and mastered loud as possible, your song would sound softer than the other songs on the radio. What eventually happened is, by the year 2010, music got so squashed and so flat. What started to happen is the quality of music really started to suffer. It started to also cause huge problems with broadcasters, because TV, radio, cinema, all these guys, they started having problems where, I don't know if you've ever had this, you're watching a TV show and you're listening to the dialogue and you get the level right for the dialogue on the TV show, and then an ad comes on and bang, it's so loud, and you're like, holy crap, why is it so loud? So the TV guys and the radio guys and all these guys started saying, look, we need to have a new standard, a standard that doesn't set the songs by the peak, but by the loudness. So they created a new standard called LUFS, LUFS, and then now these days they measure songs by the loudness of the song, not by the peaks. So if a song is, say, -6 LUFS loudness and another song is -14 LUFS loudness, they will bring the -6 LUFS loudness song down to -14. What most of the guys did, YouTube and Apple Music and Spotify, is they set a certain level of LUFS loudness, and what they do is their algorithms normalize. They lift the songs up or bring them down to -14 LUFS. Now, what this has done is it's caused sound engineers and mixing guys and mastering guys, and when I say this, I don't mean the professionals. I'm talking about your bedroom kind of B-grade amateur mixers and mastering engineers to say, okay, well then we must aim for -14 decibel LUFS loudness. It's not as simple as that. People even wrote articles and blog posts where they said, the loudness war is now over because YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music are normalizing loudness. But that is not what we are seeing when it comes to the charts. So if you Google LUFS loudness, this is the top page that comes up, Sage Audio, and this is what he says. The quick answer, the best mastering level for streaming is an integrated -14 LUFS, as it best fits the loudness normalization settings of the majority of streaming services. -14 LUFS is the best mastering level when considering loudness. And that is total BS. This is a professional. This is a guy who mixes and masters people music and charges them money. And I say, shame on you for teaching the wrong information and delivering the wrong service to your clients. Because let me tell you, that's not what the pros are doing. And I'm going to prove that in a moment. This is another site that comes up in the top 10 sites for LUFS loudness on Google. And you look here, step 4, they're talking about mastering. Now onto the crucial part, the LUFS meter. Our track's short reading, about 3-second window, doesn't tickle the meter, hovering between -15 and -13 LUFS. This level is actually ideal. Look at that, and would lead the track to sail through any streaming checks quite unharmed. Again, I'm sorry to say, wrong advice. Shame on you. This is the problem, is the blind leading the blind. It's a minefield out there. If you're trying to learn about music production and you go on the internet, you go onto YouTube or Google, you go to blog posts, you go to forums, it's full of this myth about mixing and mastering for -14 dBs LUFS. Let's put this to bed once and for all. Let's go and look at the charts and let's measure the LUFS loudness of the top 10 songs. And let's see, what are the pros doing? No more opinions. We're just looking for facts. If the pros do it, we're going to do it. Last year, during the Grammys, Isotope, which is actually makes some of the best mastering software you can get, they did an article called Records of the Year, an analysis of the 2021 Grammy nominees. And these are all the albums that they looked at. They analyzed the songs. They looked at the EQ curves. They looked at a whole lot, but they also looked at the LUFS integrated loudness. So let's start here. Beyonce, Black Parade, -8.5 LUFS. Notice it's not -14. That's mastered by Colin Leonard, one of the top mastering engineers in the world. Why is Colin not mastering the song at -14? Let me ask you that. Next song, Black Pumas, Colors. And what is the integrated loudness? -9.9 LUFS. Notice it's 4 decibels louder than it supposedly needs to be. Why are the pros mixing and mastering the music louder than what everybody in their bedrooms and B-grade producers are saying? Next song, DaBaby, and what's the integrated loudness? -8.4 LUFS. Notice it's 6 decibels louder than it needs to be. It's not -14. Let's just go faster. Doja Cat, -7 LUFS. Billie Eilish, -9.4. Dua Lipa, -7.9 LUFS. Post Malone, Circles, -5.6 LUFS. Megan Thee Stallion, featuring Beyonce, -8 LUFS. There was a time that most of the songs had a LUFS loudness of about -6 or -7, and it's definitely coming down. I'll give you that. The loudness war is coming backwards a little bit, and the songs are a little bit softer than they used to be, but nowhere near -14. So the takeaway is the average integrated loudness for the nominees is -8 LUFS. So guys, if you want to emulate the pros, if you want to copy the top mixing and mastering engineers in the world, then you should be aiming for around -8 integrated LUFS loudness. For me, that just seals the deal right there. I'm not interested in people's opinions. I'm only interested in facts. You don't just reinvent the wheel and go, you know, we should make a thing called a table. And then I want to invent this piece of wood that you could sit on. I'm going to call it a chair. No, you go to restaurants and you see, oh, they have a front of house person. They have decorations. They have tables. They have waiters. There's kitchens in the back. It's not in the front. You copy what the top guys are doing and then you do it a little bit better. And the top guys are averaging their LUFS loudness at about -8. So that would be my suggestion. This was from last year. So why don't we have a look at Apple Music? Let's go and see how loud are these songs. We're going to measure the LUFS loudness in Logic. So let's play this song first. We're getting a LUFS integrated of -10.5, but you must remember we have to subtract the peak off. So if we subtract -2.5 or 10.5, what is the LUFS loudness of the song? -8. Okay, so the number 1 song in the world is -8. Let's go to the next track. Harry Styles' song, As It Was, we're getting a -8.5 integrated LUFS, but the peak is at -2.6. So we can subtract 2.5 off that, which means the integrated LUFS of this song is -6. That's loud. That's very, very loud. Next track. Okay, that's Bad Bunny, Mi Porto Bonito, and we've got an integrated LUFS of -11.3, but if we subtract again 2.5, we get -9 dB LUFS loudness. Let's do Post Malone. Just a little tip, whenever you're measuring the LUFS loudness of a song, you want to find the loudest part of the song. So usually the chorus. Okay, so what do we got here? -10 LUFS, and it's peaking at -3. So we could safely say that this song is -7 integrated LUFS loudness. So you notice there's a trend. It's 6, 7, 8, 9. It's all around there. I think let's do one more. First class. Okay, so what do we have? A -12.6, and again, it's peaking at -2.7. So it's pretty much a -10 LUFS loudness. So this is the softest song on the top 10 that we can find so far, from -6 up to -10. That is the range of loudness that we're seeing in the top 10 of the streaming charts. Notice not a single song is -14 dB LUFS loudness. So what I wanted to say was, if anybody says to you, you must mix and master your music to -14 dB LUFS loudness, you need to tell them to go and jump in the lake, because they are talking rubbish. We are only interested in facts. If the top songs, the top artists in the world are mixing their LUFS loudnesses between -6 and -10, that means we should be doing the same thing. You know what this is? This is like fake news. Guys, there's a lot of fake music production advice out there. Don't believe everybody that you hear online. Do the homework, go and check it for yourself. If you're too lazy, come to me and I will show you all these little tricks and tools and how these things work. Now, my opinion, that Harry Styles song does sound a little bit squashed at -6. I personally would rather err on the side of going a little bit more towards -8, -9. What's nice about when you don't push your mastering so hard to trying to get to -6 and -7 is you can get a little bit more bass into your track. And that's what I'm also noticing is another trend. In fact, maybe I'll do another video on that another time. So definitely that's the advantage. A little bit more dynamics, a little bit more bass. You get a little bit less of a squash mix. You can have a very dynamic, very musical, very natural sounding mix with a LUFS loudness of about -8 to about -10. So my opinion, I would advise you, according to what we've just studied and analyzed now in the charts, is aim for between -8 and -10 LUFS loudness. If you enjoyed that and you'd like to learn how to take your music to that next level, then listen to this, because I've created a free music production workshop that has helped thousands of music creators to massively improve their music. So what can you expect from this workshop? First of all, there's going to be 4 sessions, and in session number 1, I'm going to be giving you hundreds of gigabytes of free sounds. In session number 2, I'm going to be giving you 51 free audio plugins. I'm also going to show you how to set up a home studio cheaply and easily. I'm going to show you how to compose a great song even if you are a music theory dummy. I'm going to show you how to record and edit audio like a pro. We're going to cover EQ, compression, reverb, and effects, which are areas that many people get lost and confused in. I'm going to show you how to process your vocals in 5 easy steps. And finally, I'm going to teach you how to mix and master your music at a professional, world-class top 40 standard. If you would like to join me for the free workshop and get your music to that top 40 standard, then click the link in the description.